and we both are playing PC. You want to go in Scissors Death Run to see how good are we? In Scissors Death Run? I swear, it was freaking... Cause me and Snowy was frustrating at each other. Because me and him kept getting mad because we didn't know what to do. Oh, is it going to start? Jesus Christ. Oh, you did? Yo, I'm in Scissors Death Run. I'm not dumb. I'll try to complete it. Whoever's watching my stream, what's up, dude? And text something if I know you. Cause I should know you. I just know we come on. No, go on Scissors Death Run.
Bro, what am I gonna do there?
Bro, at least try.
Alright. I don't even really know how to like look around or anything.
I do. It's easy.
What are you using?
I have the Dragon X, so it's not going to be like the same keybinds as yours.
I don't know.
Bro, and I can't even jump. See, I hate keyboard and mouse. Because I can't even jump. That's the thing. So. Oh, I know. What? On keyboard and mouse. Jump is not bound.
I was jumping up.
Oh, I need to put it. Now I don't know how to hit. See, bro, I hate keyboards and mouses. Keyboard and mouses. Keyboard and mouse.
Man, I'm pressing X.
I'm about to go back to Creative Hub. I'm about to just look up the best keybinds ever. Then here we go with the lagging. Trissy, your internet. Trissy, Snowy, your internet. Why do you have to be the party leader? Do you think I'm dumb? I'm gonna try to build. So Q is for... Bro, I can't build, kid. The best keybinds for PC.
Here are 8 tips for finding the best keybinds, for example, are always bound to WASD, while shooting and aiming down sight are bound to left and right click. These are your core keybinds and shouldn't need changing. Other keybinds like your weapon slots, building, and edit buttons are all keybinds that you should think about changing. The default bindings for these can work, but aren't necessarily optimal. Changing them could make certain things easier to execute in-game. Trying to find the best key bindings may feel overwhelming at first. Stick with key bindings that are comfortable for you and work well with your gameplay. Before we talk about specific keybinds for weapon slots, building, and editing, we need to distinguish the most valuable keys on your keyboard. The most important keys are those that are closest to your movement buttons because they're the easiest to reach. This includes keys like Q, E, F, Z, X, C, V, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. You should try to bind these keys to actions you use most often, like main weapon slots, building, and editing. It's also important to recognize the value of left shift, caps lock, and tab. These are 3 more important keys that can be quick and easy to hit once you get used to it. Many of your favorite players and streamers also use mouse buttons for extra accessibility binds. The most common mouse buttons are mouse button 4 and mouse button 5, which are usually 2 buttons on the side of the mouse. Some mice have more than that, but we're going to stick with just 2 mouse binds in this guide. Unfortunately, not all mice have extra buttons, and this might not be accessible to everyone. However, if you do have a mouse with extra buttons, mouse button 4 and 5 are pretty easy to hit with your thumb, and should be considered additional important keys. They work quite well for any of the 4 building keybinds or weapon slots. First, you want to unbind Q. This key is much more useful for other stuff, and you never need to use that button because you can just swap to a specific build/weapon to achieve the same effect. Your pickaxe is bound to F by default. We recommend rebinding this because F is one of the easiest keys to reach, making it great for something like edit. A decent workaround is to move your weapon slots to 2 to 6 and bind your pickaxe to 1. If this doesn't feel comfortable, try checking out the pickaxe bind that some of your favorite players use. The use button is bound to E by default. Changing this bind is more of a matter of preference. If you feel that E can be more useful for a build or weapon, you can try rebinding it to an extra mouse key, or another key relatively close to WASD. Myth and Cypher PK, for example, have use bound to V, so they can have E bound to an important build or weapon. You should turn on sprint by default too. It's good in general and frees up a valuable key in left shift. Crouch is a good bind for this key, which will free up left control for something like auto run. Now that we know a little more about the important keys and default binds, let's talk about your building keybind specifically. The default binds are Z, X, C, V, which aren't horrible, but we would recommend playing around with them to find the most comfortable combination for you. For building keybinds like your wall, floor, ramp, and pyramid, keep them on your most important keys, like Q, V, Z, F, C, V, mouse button 4.
I don't know how to play on keyboard.
Finding the right combination of these binds is a matter of trial and error, and may take some time testing in Playground. Your edit button should be bound to a key that's extremely accessible and can be hit accurately multiple times in a quick session. That's why many pros and streamers choose F for their edit, because it sits right next to the key that your pointer finger naturally sits on. Any of the other valuable keys mentioned previously will work too, as long as you're comfortable making quick edits with your chosen key. If you're using a mouse with more than 2 buttons, stay away from having more than 2 building binds on your mouse. While mouse buttons are convenient, many more advanced builds require you to quickly click a sequence of keys. With more than 2 builds on your mouse, some of these become unnecessarily difficult. Default binds for weapons are F for pickaxe and 1 to 5 for weapon slots. These aren't horrible, but you might want to change some of them if you're having trouble hitting any of the number keys or you want to use F for another important bind like edit. In our experience, 1 to 4 are the easiest to hit of all the number keys. So if you want your pickaxe and weapons bound to numbers, use 1 to 4 for your pickaxe,
Hey, Snowy.
and SMG slots.
Yeah.
Can you give me edits? I can't
They're
fly.
the easiest to reach
I need
because
edits.
these are the weapons that you'll be using
Why?
in combat and intense scenarios
I don't know
that
what
require
to do.
fast decision making and action.
Well, I'm about to go to
You want to make
mine.
sure these keys are easy for you to hit quickly and accurately. It's very important to be able to swap between your shotgun and SMG seamlessly, so make sure you have them binding close to each other. This reduces the amount of mental effort required in those high pressure fights. Binding your weapons to keys other than number keys keys is an option too, although this will require you to play around with your keybinds a bit more. If you're going to do this, keep your AR, shotgun, and SMG bound to your most important keys. Your 46 your full reserve.